As we look out over the ramparts, we see the slow, creeping assault on the settlement. The towers move forward at a slow pace because they are heavy. But, on the other side, further things are happening. It's a sally out! Welcome back, everyone. Ellington here, and we are back on Total War Rome 2. And we have got ourselves a 4 versus 4 on the settlement of Tur. Now, as you can see, we have a massive sally out coming from this gate. Now, some of you may recognize this battle. It happened on a stream just a few, from the time that I'm doing this recording, about a month ago. But I didn't really get to see a whole lot of this side of things because I was doing my own stuff on the other side. So people said that they wanted me to cover this, and here we are. We're going to cover it. So starting off with the teams, right off the bat, let's get into the people outside here. We've got Macedon being commanded by Butt Kicker, I believe. We've got Saba being commanded by Smack. Saba secretly being commanded by Panda. Panda is a player that is... He's a pro player, okay? He's a pro player. You see him in a lot of tournaments and stuff like that. And he snuck in to this. He didn't have to sneak in. He was welcome to join anyways, but still. He's here with Saba. For the other defenders, real quick on the other side, we've got Galatia being commanded by me. And finally, we have Pontus being commanded by Smoker. For the attackers, though, we have got Boei being commanded by Bozo. Sparta being commanded by Polo. We do have Chariots out, by the way. Chariots, I don't think this was a... You know, he's kind of coming over doing this. I think he probably would have been better off going right here. Anyways, we also have Arverni for the attackers being commanded by Ross Worthy. Ross is a player that's been around for a while, but we actually haven't seen him in a game in a long time. Although we kind of took a little bit of a break from Robe 2 playing there for a little while. Finally, we have Athens over here, kind of having a problem here. Athens being commanded by Meat Flute. Look at the Marib Camel Cataphracts. They are up to 272 kills with 2 chevrons. We've also got Armored Camel Spears here. We've got Camel Spearmen taking on Hippeus Lancers. Then Macedon, you can see, is out here as well, just kind of assisting in this. He's got his Companion Cavalry out here, 134 kills. We've got Thorax Swords, Militia Hoplites. Peltus, so Macedon brought his Peltus out. Athens having a real big problem over here. And there goes the Athenian artillery. So the cavalry, 3 chevrons with 353 kills now. You can see the mercenary Rhodian slingers and the mercenary Cretan archers there as well. So you can see over here, just they're having a bad time, you know. It's just it's a bit rough. Sparta is a rough one to deal with. You know what I mean? They can really just bring better cavalry than pretty much anybody, you know. And if you don't, just defend yourself properly, it just is painful. Very, very painful. Athens really doesn't have a great counter. They have some hoplites and pikemen. They've got javies and shield wall, but that's about it. But with Macedon also coming out here with infantry, then all the counters to the cavalry kind of become detrimental to them against the infantry. Boei over here slowly creeping forward. You can see Sparta and Arverni have made it to the walls. But what's going on over here could be a really big problem for this attack right here. You know what I mean? Because as these guys go in, they have no guard over here. They have no pressure over here. So could be interesting to see what happens after the Athenians seemingly meet their demise. I guess they could pull this out, but it's not overly likely. Pikemen getting javied by some thorough spears. Got the Macedonian General Companion Cav. Ooh, he probably got out of that better than he could have. I think he only lost like 5 guys. Thorax Swords, probably going to engage these Thorax Swords. You can see the Thorough Spears were continuing to try and fire over at the Pikes. They got a couple more kills on them. The Saba General now with a Silver Chevron and 573 kills. Paraguay Spear got a jabby toss up, but I don't think he really got much. I think they're trying to move this way to try and either cut him off or get a good jabby toss. But the Macedonian General might be watching that. Honestly, the Macedonian General could probably split. Honestly, if I was him, I would split around this way. These guys are engaged. That's a Pike. Well, the Companion Cav could obliterate the Habeas Lancer. 46 melee attack, 47, but he's got a Chevron now. Weapon damage 31, 27. Charge bonus 76 versus 57. On the charge, the Companion Cavalry would wipe that Habeas Lancer. Into the settlement. We've got a little bit of stuff going on here at the walls, but really not much yet. You can see they're just now kind of getting stuff up onto the walls here. Got more towers moving forward. Pulling more troops up. We had to be careful because Arverni, excuse me, has a ballista here. So this whole area is a gigantic target for him. Got chosen swords in from Arverni. Here we go. Now we got that fight, but the Habeas Lancers had the backup of the Paraguay Spears. Companion Cav getting out of that. That's probably a smart idea. It's the Paraguay Spears that realistically are going to be the biggest trouble for him. That is, unless he's out of ammo. If he's out of ammo, it wouldn't be as bad for him. Pace Lancer 133, Companion Cav 222. I believe the Saba General finally met his demise. No, he didn't. Look at him. He's right here. 628 kills on the Sabaean Marib Camel Cataphracts. Thorax with 92 versus Thorax with 276. Thorax versus Paraguay Spears, 283 on the Thorax. Thorough Spears, and then the Peltis actually engaging the Pikes over here. Pikes without their Pikes out, so they're just going sword to sword versus the Peltis. Then this Peltis, I think, is kind of kiting this Paraguay Spear here. Looks like he's out of ammo anyways. What he might do is he might just kind of keep leading this Paraguay Spear away, then engage him while the Companion comes back or something. Companion Cavalry is pushing this way. 2 units of Macedonian Pikes have left the settlement. Here we go, we're getting a charge inside. We've got Galatian Swords versus the Chosen Swords. Sorry, just kind of looking around here. We do have more Paraguay Spears getting in here. They're trying to throw jabbies, but they really don't have a great, direction for that. We've got Sword Followers being taken on by 2 Galatian Swords. Then over here you can see Pontus kind of holding this general area. We do have some Galatian Legionaries back here as backup. We also have Celtic Warriors dropping on the wall, as well as Sword Followers. It's a double Chevron Celtic Warrior. Now you can see I've got some archers here getting some shots in. Usually we will try to have an archer here to do the same, but really it's just not a lot of room. Mercenary Moscow Marauders moving forward from Saba. He's got slingers up on the wall, and look at all the Moscow Marauders he's got lined up waiting to go in. Companion Cav, he's still at 222, but I feel like he's taking losses. Companion Cav I think is a really solid Cav unit. Advanced Lancer's 164. You can see a lot of this stuff has kind of been cleaned up. The Spartan unit still, like, looks like really this is the only unit left from that fight. A lot of this is all new. So many Paralyqui Spears. What else did he, like, he brought a bunch of Paralyqui Spears and Spartan Hoplites. Typically, the play you usually will see with Sparta is really, really heavy Royal Spartan play. Spartan Hoplites are not usually thought to be super great. Got another Galatian Legionary moving up, but what I really need is a couple archers up here to push away these Celtic bows who are shooting me in the back, and I don't like it. Got another Galatian Legionary here getting into combat with Pontus. Side by side, we will defend this wall. Come at me, swine. Sorry, I don't know where the weird voice came from. It just happens sometimes. You just gotta let it out. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you just gotta let it out. That's my Christopher Walken impression. There you go. Your day is made, and that deserves a like, right? You know, hit the like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Just because I did a Christopher Walken impression. It's the only reason. Still, man. So I brought an archer up, and I am shooting the Celtic bows, yes. Now I need to be careful, though, because here comes all of the Gallic hunters, which were hidden from sight, but now they're back. So I got to be careful, because while the Syrian archer obviously is a better archer, there are 4 of them, and I only have 1 of mine up here. And I don't think I'm watching at this point, so you can see my archer is moving forward, trying to keep in range of its target, which is the Celtic bowman. And that's bad, because that means I'm walking right in to that. Thankfully, at the moment, they are shooting my infantry. It still hurts. But if they were to put a volley into my Syrians, it would probably be very, 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 very painful. Now, this is kind of becoming like a legit fight now. You know, Athens has a couple units left, but here comes realistically Sparta. Sparta is coming in to fight this fight now. We have a depleted Athenian pikemen, we've got some veteran hoplites, and a couple just, you know, tiny units here and there. But for Sparta, we've got Paralyqui Spears, we've got Spartan hoplites. Got to be careful with that companion cav. You got a Paralyqui right there. He might be out of ammo, though. Is it worth the risk? Is it? Thorax Sword's now taking on some Spartan hoplites. So yeah, this is going to become a really interesting dynamic out here, just because now we've pulled even more units away from that. I really don't know that that's the greatest call on the attacker's part. You know, I think that dedicating more stuff over here to take away from this is probably not as beneficial as they might think, because now this attack is way underpowered. Now, if they can defeat this over here, maybe they make it worth it. We shall find out soon. Yes, we shall. Base Lancer's 171, excuse me. Got a couple more units coming over from Sparta. They're shifting over this way to kind of continue to support this area. They got to be careful. You got these 2 pikes right here. One of them is about half health. We do have a Spartan hoplite sneaking around, but you can see he's shifting his pike that way. Now, what it might do is it could expose the back end of this Spartan hoplite to the companion cav. Thorough spears, getting some jabbies off at a militia hoplite. Poor militia. Man, you can see those pikes just getting roasted, especially because now they've got that back end shot. I like that picture. Wish somebody was going into combat on him. Yeah, these poor pikes are just kind of sitting ducks, right? It's the biggest downside to pikes is they are highly, you know, highly stagnant. They really don't have much maneuverability. They have a lot of problems, you know, and especially in open situations like that, like a big field, it becomes very hard for them to not get their flanks exposed. You'd see some Galatian legionaries unfortunately getting beat up by Oathsworn and Celtic Wars, and I'm assuming there was probably something else that was in that fight earlier. You can see as some of those units are now shifting this way. We've got to be careful because we got our archers, right? Or I have my archers. Keep saying we, but this is me. Oh, and same thing. Got to be careful because of those Gallic hunters. Gallic hunters? Hunters? What a bit of hunters? Galatian swords charging on some sword followers. And look at that. Pontic swords able to sneak up and around. Got to be careful, though, because there are units dropping off the tower. Might need some more units to shift this way. Wonder, the Peltis, 35 kills and 11 kills. Companion Cav now at 239. One of the Paraquay spears is broken. I think this pike broke and then now came back. Thorax swords 137 versus mercenary veteran hoplites that are almost dead. These pikes hanging out somehow with 24 men left. I don't know how they're doing that. Cretan archers 147 kills. I hear artillery. Who is that? What artillery is shooting over here? Is it Macedon? Yeah, it's got to be Macedon. Huh. Heard that ruck. You know, I was like, what the hell? Here we go. All right, so we've got an Oathsworn here, right? And engaging it with the Galatian Legionary, which Oathsworn's going to win that fight. But what I'm trying to do is shift this Oathsworn up and around, or I mean this Galatian Legionary up and around to hit the back end of that, the Oathsworn from Boii here. You know, we've got a tiny little Celtic warrior here, but he's probably not much of a threat at this point. Still fighting over this way. We've got two of the best mid-tier infantries in the game going at it against each other. We got Galatian Legionaries versus Sword Followers. Both very, very good units. And here we go. Look at this. Big push by Arverni. And Saba, how is Saba's Camel still alive? 806 kills, where the hell did he come from? He's still got 26 men. But he's dismounted. Did he accidentally dismount his camels? So the camels came over here, it looks like, and I don't know what the hell happened. That's very unfortunate, though, because if he was still on his camels, he could have wiped through all of that. If Panda is watching the video, let me know, did you accidentally dismount and not, you know what I mean? I'm assuming that's what happened, which really sucks, because like I said, if on your camels, all of these archers would be gone. Every single one of them would be, and you probably would have broke 1,000 kills. Unfortunately, though, well, unfortunately, I say, but he's at like 900 or something like that. This fight is still going! Macedon brought more units out. He really still doesn't have much, right? He's got a Thorough Spear. It's about to take on some Paraquay Spears. We've got some Spartan Hoplites from Sparta. So Sparta definitely has more units here. But it just doesn't seem like Sparta has a grasp of the fight. Bowiai's Ballista, 39 kills now. I think it's because he lost his Ballista over here. Here we go, got an Oathsworn, and looks like I'm actually able to get some shots in over these huts here. It's a bit of a long shot, but apparently I'm getting some. All three of my archers doing pretty solid. 98, 81, 129, pretty good. I think what he's going to do, I think he's going to, well, I thought he was going to sneak up and around, but it could be maybe the pathing is being weird. Look at all those stones coming in from the ballista. Sparta is just turtled up, you know what I mean? That's like what he's done. Got Peltist and Thorough Spears just lobbing all their ammunition into these units from afar. The companion cav continues to kind of cycle, or he's circling, right? He's stalking his prey, where in reality he's just looking for open areas, places he might be able to sneak in. He's got to be careful because they're spears, but the one bonus I think is that I don't think they have any ammo left on the Paraquay Spears, which means that he has a little less to worry about that. I'm trying to see, is Sparta just so concentrated over here that he's just leaving his units in here? I don't know what's going on with that. They could really use those tanky Spartan hoplites to get into some of these situations. While I don't think they're the greatest unit on the planet, they are solidly tanky. Oathsworn, 91 kills and about to just disappear. Here's the Gallic Hunters move. They've kind of moved up, and it looks like they're shooting over into these Pontic units. Now, as you can see, we did shift our fire over onto the Oathsworn General for Arverni. He's down to 146 out of 160. And now we've got most of Bowiai and Arverni have shifted up. But look at this, a big counterattack by Saba. He's got two mercenary Muscat Marauders that have charged in on the back end of this attack. So, you know, he's kind of getting in on these softer units, these Paraquay Spears, the Celtic Warriors, you know, and that could be a real pain in the ass to the attackers because, once again, that's, you know, splitting their attention. Thorax Swords breaking. They've got 203, 121 on the Thorough Spears. The Companion Cav 266, and he's just kind of like hanging out, you know what I mean? I think he's just not wanting to commit into these heavy spear units because it is risky, you know what I mean? A lot of them have a pretty good bonus versus large. They're pretty tanky. So I think he's just trying to preserve his general a little bit here, which really isn't a terrible idea. Waiting for good, solid situations. I think all my archers are out of ammo, which is why I've got them all back here. Okay kills, 100, 111, it's fine. 129 is not bad. Muscat Marauders, you know, realistically, it wasn't the kind of, you know, push that just sweeps in and wipes out everything. It was the kind of push that really just is kind of a distraction. And it did, relatively well. What he could probably do is he could probably, you know, Muscat Marauders are a charge unit, so he could probably shift and charge into that. He actually shifted this unit off to the side, and the Sword Follower going forward. So now he's getting a good double team into the Sword Follower, 163. Here comes my general. I got my Noble Horse charging out. And obviously, the Gallic Hunters are going to get a couple kills on me. I guess not, but I thought they would. Remember, guys, when you're charging into things like archers, try to keep moving. Archers don't have the mass to stop you. They're the one unit, like the one type of unit that you're typically allowed to just run through it. You know, we usually don't allow, like, just busting through and kind of clicking your way through an infantry unit. You know, basically, if your unit becomes completely and totally engrossed in the combat, you shouldn't be allowed to just bloop. You know, but archers, if you look at their formation, they're so spread out that there's realistically nothing about an archer unit that can really stop a cav unit, which is why we allow, you know, the ability to click through. Because the base of the game is that when your unit comes in contact with something, it immediately stops and, you know, kind of continues the combat, right? But for a cavalry, we don't want that. We want to keep moving. So, you know, especially against archers when you're trying to kind of wipe out multiple units at a time. Sparta just turtled up, man. And I don't know how Macedon is continuing to, like, keep that fight going. Macedon really didn't have a whole lot there. We also have Heroes of Sparta all the way the hell back here. What the hell? Yeah, I know Sparta's really engrossed in this combat here, but this sitting here and those sitting there is hugely detrimental to the match, right? To the attacking forces. They just are kind of killing them, you know. The Spartan hoplites needed to be in this combat, and they're not. The Heroes of Sparta needed to be in this combat, and they're not. Those Heroes of Sparta are expensive. Charging on some Spartan hoplites. Once again, even though they're heavy, that's fine. They don't have javies, so I can run away without worrying about getting hit in the back here. Now, what I should do is come right over here and get into those Gallic Hunters. We also kind of have a little bit of a counterattack going. We, I believe, killed the Boii General because he was attacking us over here. And so you can see we're bringing some of those units out to fight. We've already have one Galatian Legionary fighting here, but we need to get some of these others in combat. 153 on my general. Now he just dropped all of his towers. Yeah, I don't know how he pulled this off. I think Sparta had the troop advantage, but I think he gave up the deployment. You know, he allowed himself to get encircled by a smaller force. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. But, you know, it is what it is. Now that he's no longer distracted by that over there, you can see he is bringing down his army off of their towers. Hopefully, we're going to start seeing those Heroes of Sparta marching out of the woods. Hopefully. Hint, hint. Come on. Bring your pretty face to my axe. At first, I thought I was just bringing my general back into the settlement, but I don't know that that's really that useful. Being it's a cab unit, out here is probably the best place to be. And we've retaken and kicked out basically everything, or defeated everything on this side. And now I think what we're going to do, I think we're going to try and rush out this breach and just get in on these Spartan hoplites. You can see the companion cav coming over. Now he's got 326 kills. They're still cleaning up a little bit here. We got a Spartan hoplite still hanging out there. Got some Moscot Marauders out in the open. That's where they want to be. Now they can charge in over here. Yeah, they're holding down the breach with this one unit. Here we go, charging. Nope, not charging. Probably the right call. They are facing this direction. Charging them head front probably wouldn't be the greatest idea. Kind of doing it anyways, apparently. I think I'm actually targeting the Gallic Hunter, though. And it just kind of, by the cause of them being kind of interlaced with the hoplites, it just kind of worked out that way. 179, 180 kills now. Moscow Marauders all doing pretty good. 257. Where are those Heroes of Sparta? Where are you? Come out, wherever you are. I'm assuming they're marching through the forest. I guess I don't really know, though. I don't remember. Up to 344 on the companion cav. You can see Panda doing a really good job here of cycling those Moscow Marauders, taking advantage of that 36 charge bonus. Here we go, another unit charging in. Hold on, do we hear it? Yep, there they are. Heroes of Sparta. You know, Heroes of Sparta are really... They're a tough unit to judge because stats-wise, they are pretty good and they're tough. They're really tough. They are really hard to break. They're a really good unit. The biggest downside to them is they're a 120-man unit. You know, majority of infantry units are 160 men. But these two units here, even though they are really solid units, are already at a disadvantage, being down 40 men compared to some of their, you know, other units. So it's the kind of the biggest problem with them is that it really hurts them a lot. And unfortunately, they're just getting into the combat way too late. Even with their really good 71 base morale, you know, everybody's dead, so army losses is already kicking in. So even though they have a really good morale and their general's alive, you can see that they're wavering. They're on the brink of breaking for that one reason, and it just kind of sucks. You know, these units would have been a lot more helpful had they been engaged way earlier in the battle. You know, they are kind of, you know, stiffening up here a little bit due to them being in combat. Being in combat actually gives you a minor morale boost. So sometimes if you have a unit that's kind of wavering, like out of combat, if you put it in combat, it may kind of, you know, get it to stay a little bit longer. Mercenary naked swords. Right now, it's really just going to be kind of a pain in the ass to grind through these units. Heroes of Sparta, like I said, they are good. They are stout. They are just a pretty good unit that would be, honestly, at 160 men, Heroes of Sparta would be excellent units. Excelente. And we're just trying to break them, you know what I mean? The army loss is already kicking in, so we're just trying to get them over the hump here. We got one broken. Now it just comes down to the general. 81 kills, 48 kills. The best part about the Heroes of Sparta is the Corinthian helmet. And there we go. Let's look at some kills real quick. So starting off, we have got myself with 1,861 kills as Galatia. I was rusty. I did pretty good with some of my Galatian legionaries, but some of them not so great. 85, 68, 55, that's not very good. Galatian swords, I think I probably could have done a bit better there as well. Basic smoker as Pontus with 1951. He did a pretty good job getting really good, you know, like dual setups versus Bowie Eyes infantry, you know, 2v1 type stuff. Archers, a couple of them did pretty good. One of his chariots, 438 kills. The other one, not so hot. Smack, this is Panda, as Saba, 2871, coming in second. Look at that, 839 kills on the Marib Camel Cataphract General. The other camels not doing so hot. Slingers did okay. One of them did pretty good. His Moscots did very, very well. And finally, Buttslayer as Macedon with 3,051 kills, leading the game. His Peltis all honestly did pretty solid. 358 on the General. His Infantry 306 all did pretty good. 416 on that one. So for the attackers, we have Meat Flute, which we're just going to be honest here. He had a tough setup versus a tough player. You know what I mean? And that's just unfortunately the way it is sometimes. Polo as Sparta with 1514. I just don't think his army was very good. And I think that he didn't, the fact that the units didn't go into combat till the last couple minutes of the game hurt him a lot. Bozo Bagels has Bowie Eye with 2,171. Did very, very well with his infantry. It's Bowie Eye. They're pretty hard to fail with, you know what I mean? 205 on the Oathsworn. But all in all, pretty good. Roshworthy as Arvani with 1,550 kills. Here's the deal. I think that I think him and Bowie Eye kind of got hung out to dry a little bit there due to what happened on the other side of the game. And unfortunately, this was kind of the outcome of that. And I hate to say it happens and it sucks, but it is what it is. But that is going to be it for today's battle. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget that if you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We will see you guys next time.